Tips for entrepreneurship in time of COVID. Do you think that to be an entrepreneur is something very difficult? At some time, did you want to throw the towel? Well, my dear friend, don't feel bad for thinking that way. Because in fact, yes, entrepreneurship is something very difficult and more in these times of quarantine. The problem is not precisely in starting, but in continuing. Approximately 70% of the companies that until now started their history in the market go bankrupt. Well, in fact, we could say that 70% of the dreams become only a memory. A figure that generates so much sadness as the many of us felt when John Wick's dog was killed. I really can't get over it yet. In case that you are going through a bad situation or you have doubts about yourself and your business, I comment you that for this section we have prepared everything you need to know about how can you undertake in times of COVID, and some tips that can be much help. So without further ado, let's start once and for all. The COVID-19 came to our lives to change everything. In a world where parties, squares, hotels, cinemas, parks used to receive hundreds of people, and from one moment to another all stayed in their homes. Sales decreases, the service was not the same, in short many things changed with the arrival of this terrible disease. As everyone knows, the need always creates an opportunity, and that is exactly what the entrepreneurs did with the difficulties to attract new customers and users to their business. After trying different techniques and tools to resume the activities again, the companies managed to level the negative impact with more than one very creative idea, which I will present below, so pay close attention. Consulting. These companies that used to visit other companies carry out studies on their organizational process, evaluate the work environment, and provide all the improvement plans for the correct operation of the company. Due that they could not carry out the consulting as used to do, after a long time without generate income, decided to offer their visits through video calls and chats. Although it was a little difficult, now work as if nothing had affected them. Food establishments. Before, it was great to receive the month's pay and go to buy an incredible hamburger or delight the palate with a delicious chocolate ice cream. But with the COVID, those odd things are now in the past. Unfortunately, many of the companies that received thousands of dinners daily did not receive the sales at zero and took the decision to close the establishment. But on the other hand, some managed to bring all the flavors to the home of each person. Tools such as virtual payments, online order support, application, and addresses are some of those that allowed these companies to survive in the pandemic. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for more content. Clothing store. Although before the pandemic, clothing stores sold both in person and virtually, certainly what attracted the most attention, especially among women, was the possibility of going shopping with friends, and proved that it fit better and not. So get what several companies did. Well, the medium and large establishment that decide not to give up use advanced technologies such as Big Thing to measure clothes online via mobile. You only need a photo and that's it. Incredible, isn't it? Educational institutions. Education was not prepared to transform completely the face-to-face model in a virtual one, but practically the virus forced all the institutions to take this step to continue with the activities. Contrary to the other companies, these sectors continues fighting to develop its works calmly, but up to the moment, with a lot of effort and dedication, it is on the right track. Gyms. We can say that gyms were most affected due to that all their activities were based on physical contact, reason why the last companies to reopen were them. Luckily, Each establishment and trainer decide to change the usual style for personalized workouts and video workouts, which now became the preference of all fitness. The above are the best examples to show you that there are many ways to undertake in times of COVID. How to do it will never be difficult if you have in your company the right staff, and in the same way if you are willing to invest some money in advanced tools. Be sure that everything you do now you will serve for the next, because believe me, this disease has come to stay. If you are a leader, you probably don't like being told what to do. In fact, many of us hate to be advised on something we already know, or on the contrary, we do not want to know. But no matter the situation, it is never wrong to receive good advice. It's for this reason that, before finishing the video, I want to share with you a series of recommendations that I am completely sure that at some point you will remember them, and they will serve you well in situations where it seems that everything is lost and there is no more way out than to give up. Number 1. Initially, you must have a lot of faith. Change do not come quickly, and much less in the midst of so much anguish as generated by that deadly disease. It is normal to feel fear for not knowing what will happen, but you cannot be convinced by it. So every time when doubts arise, remember why you are in that place and never forget the people who since the beginning had faith in you. Number 2. You can have all the answers. Being a leader doesn't mean being a question mark-free person. Remember, you are a mortal being and you will never have the answers to everything. Of course, in time you will acquire more knowledge and professionalism, but until that happens, do not hesitate to ask for help from other professionals on topics you do not know. Number 3. Find your balance. When you run a business, learn that no matter how hard you try, always there will be a difficult situation to solve or a difficult decision to make. For any of the cases, keep in mind that you are not a jury or an executioner. Try as much as possible to handle the situation in the most impartial way. I know that sometimes stress does not allow time to think, but if you want to be a good leader, you must have your body, mind, and spirit balanced. Number 4. Finally, if you want to be successful in the market, must learn to flow. Although on many occasions to defend an idea until the end is the right thing to do, this in business is not always good, and you will see the market and customer's preference will never be the same. Then you cannot pretend that your method of working is the same all the time. As my mom would say, do not be proud and foolish. Learn to flow with the market trends. Adapt your style to it. This does not mean giving up. When there are things that you do not control, you just have to find the most strategic way to adapt. Even large companies have had to do it. So do not feel bad for acting in a very different way. This is called evolving, and it is completely necessary. We have reached the end of this section. If you have any doubt or opinion about it, you can say what you think in the comments. If you liked this video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and activate the bell to be aware of all our new content.